Donald Trump has announced he will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin on U.S. soil. The summit will take place next Friday in Alaska. It comes after a deadline for Putin to agree to a Ukraine ceasefire passed without any movement. CBC's Karen Pauls joins us now from Washington. Karen, what's the latest on this?
You know, Sarah, today was supposed to be the day Russia should have stopped the fighting or face tough new economic sanctions. Instead, U.S. President Donald Trump has handed Moscow a bit of a diplomatic win. He's agreed to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin next Friday in Alaska. The speed and the location of this summit is really surprising a lot of people. But meanwhile, fighting continues on key front lines. And at an event this afternoon, Trump said something that got everyone's attention. Take a listen to this clip.
Well, you're looking at territory that's been fought over for 3.5 years with, a lot of Russians have died, a lot of Ukrainians have died. So we're looking at that, but we're actually looking to get some back and some swapping. It's complicated. It's actually nothing easy. It's very complicated, but we're going to get some back. We're going to get some switched. There'll be some swapping of territories to the betterment of both. And but we'll be talking about that either later or tomorrow or whatever.
We are starting to get some details. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Putin gave the U.S. a ceasefire proposal this week. It would require Ukraine to withdraw forces and hand over eastern Ukraine, an area known as the Donbass. Take a look at this map. Putin also wants global recognition for those areas in red, Donetsk, Luhansk, and the Crimean Peninsula. That he wants a recognition that those are Russian territory. Russia wouldn't have to commit to much other than to stop the fighting. And there's still a big question about what would happen to those areas in pink, the southern regions of Zaporizhia and Kherson, where Russia also controls some territory right now, Sarah.
So, Karen, do we know if Ukraine will be included in any meetings?
Not this first one, and that's a bit of a concern for President Volodymyr Zelensky, who obviously wants to be part of any talks on Ukraine's future. He's been busy talking to world leaders and posting on social media, talking about the idea of joint efforts, and also writing in part in this tweet. There already is a lot of support, and it comes in new circumstances with a deadline now set for Russia to cease fire. So far, we see that the Russians are ignoring it, at least for now. Today has brought, again, killings and Russian shelling. Now, remember, Putin was a KGB foreign intelligence officer for 16 years. He knows how to manipulate people and situations, and so there's a lot of concern about Russia becoming increasingly sidelined in all of this. Take a listen to this clip from an analyst.
This bilateral meeting can only be a preliminary to a meeting that involves and includes Zelensky and Ukraine. If he's going into the meeting, if Trump is going into the meeting with that sort of approach in mind, then I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. But I think there is a much riskier possibility, which is that Trump will be drawn into how Putin sees things, which is basically, Putin's view of the world is that it's the big countries that decide things and the little countries have to put up with what the big countries decide.
European and Ukrainian officials are also worried that Putin is using his proposal and this meeting to buy some time and avoid those punishing new U.S. sanctions and tariffs while still continuing this war.
Well, Trump has a lot invested in this, doesn't he?
He does. He really wants a breakthrough to end this Ukraine war. And it's partly because of his bid to get a Nobel Peace Prize. That came up over and over and over again today during a peace agreement signing between Armenia and Azerbaijan. He posted on Truth Social that he's the peace president, a big poster with his face and his name signature on it. Meanwhile, the U.S. is considering imposing secondary sanctions on nations that continue to buy Russian oil. This week, it targeted India with an extra 25% tariff. China could be next. And on that front, we hear China and Putin had a conversation today, the Chinese president. Putin will be visiting China next month. It's one of the countries providing military support to Russia. We've also seen the Indian Prime Minister post on social media that he had a call with Putin today. Of course, on Wednesday, Trump imposed an additional 25% tariff on India for buying Russian oil, which again is helping to finance the war against Ukraine. So, Sarah, it looks like it could be a busy weekend heading into another chaotic week here in Washington.
Thank you for that, Karen. That's CBC's Karen Pauls in Washington.